In support of our goals and in light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 1/4 percentage point.
For the first time in Trump's second term, the Fed has cut interest rates. They have signaled that there will be 2 more cuts by the end of the year. The markets went on a roller coaster after that. They first rallied at the news, with the Dow spiking nearly 500 points, before erasing all the gains as investors listened to Powell's comments. And it finished in the green. The decision nearly unanimous. The lone dissenter was Trump's latest appointee to the board, Governor Stephen Miron, who was sworn in just yesterday. He wanted a larger half-point rate cut. All right, our panel has been standing by patiently. Republican strategist and pollster Kristen Soltis Anderson, CNN political director, Washington bureau chief David Chalian, former DNC senior advisor, communications director Xochitl Hinojosa, and Republican strategist Brad Todd. We are also joined here by the Shark Tank co-host Kevin O'Leary. And let me start with you, Kevin. Always grateful to see you. Thanks for being here. What's up with the market here? What did they really not like about what Powell said today? Why did that line look like that?
Powell talked a lot about that the inflation metric was, just not there. I mean, his mandate is dual mandate. Everybody knows full employment and low inflation. We're a long way from his mandate on inflation. We're almost a full percent above where he's supposed to be. And so, this is probably, he's only got 5 more meetings as chair, so he's very concerned about his legacy. I know Trump is bashing him, but the Fed bashing is presidential sport. It's been going on for decades with every administration. It's always interesting and fun to watch, but it's irrelevant to the Fed. They remain independent. So he's trying to thread the needle. Market wanted 50, but most people knew it would be 25, and they were kind of hoping maybe on the outlier they'd get 50 basis points. I will note, however, it did not help the long bond. The 10-year barely budged. So this is not going to be relief on housing in any way. It seems that housing has other problems besides just mortgage rates.
Fascinating. Kevin, I will have to say your hydrangeas are gorgeous. We're all sitting here jealous of the setting that you find yourself in. I want to bring in David Chalian. Yeah, go ahead.
This, no mortgage on it. I want you to know that.
Okay, well, lucky you. The hydrangeas, the Porsche, you're kind of, bringing the whole thing. He was in his Porsche last time he was on. David Chalian. The president has repeatedly called Powell too late, Powell. He's too late. What happened today? How does it play into the politics of the moment?
Well, he's still going to call him too late, Powell, because that's a way to insulate any kind of blame of stewardship of the economy from the president. So he wants to keep it all on the Fed chair. As Kevin was saying, this is a sport you can follow through many administrations of tension with the Fed chair. I don't think we've ever seen the kind of pressure Trump has exerted publicly on a sustained basis on a Fed chair the way that we have seen these last several months. Listen. This is the ball game, and Donald Trump knows it. So all the other issues that we talk about on this show or that come up in the news, this is it. And so how Americans are feeling about Trump's stewardship of the economy is going to determine electoral outcomes probably more than anything else next year.
Kristen, your data show that too?
Yeah, I mean, partisanship can only trump the pocketbook for so long. And I do think that there is a risk that you get to next November. And if the economy is doing great, that's wonderful news. Republicans will be able to say, hey, let's keep us in power. Don't let the Democrats stop what we're doing. But if the economy's not great, and especially if the tariffs are still in place, if it still feels chaotic, if voters are feeling like, I feel a little bit uneasy about this, I don't think that means a ton of Trump voters vote for Democratic candidates down ballot. But do they stay home? That's the big challenge that I'm keeping an eye on.
I was shocked at Jay Powell's press conference today because he basically validated everything Donald Trump has been saying. He said, first off, the tariffs are not being passed on to the consumers near as much as he expected they would. He said housing is being hurt by the high rates. He said the downside risk that we've been worrying about is now here. Donald Trump said all those things. And then Powell closed it by saying there are no risk-free paths. It's hard to know what to do. Well, of course there are no risk-free paths. The truth is Jay Powell's been holding the economy hostage for 6 months to try to manipulate Donald Trump. It didn't work, and now he's forced to cut rates. He's too late.
Xochitl?
No, absolutely not. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Every president gets blamed for the economy, whether they get to take credit for it, whether it's good, they get blamed for it if it is bad. What Trump is grappling with is that he doesn't control the Fed. He doesn't control the jobs report. What he does control, tariffs. He does control the cost of living, general costs going up. All of those things he does control. And I think Democrats will be messaging that. This is his economy. If it doesn't get better by the midterm elections, he owns it. Republicans own it. They have everything. They're in power. And so Donald Trump can try to deflect and message around Jay Powell as much as he can, but he owns this.
Kevin O'Leary, I mean, what say you here in terms of what is and isn't in the president's control?
Well, I think what's so important is for international markets that put more than half of every dollar they invest globally in the United States is to maintain the signal to them that there's Fed independence. And Trump's new appointee went right to the playbook and said 50 basis points. That's a little unnerving. It's a little uncomfortable. There's not enough governors there to, to actually say that Trump controls the Fed. Trump doesn't want to control the Fed, and I think he knows that. That would be very bad, because if any country that tries to control pricing by interest rates ends up like Venezuela, hyperinflation, complete collapse of the economy, you have to let the Fed do its thing and monitor and maintain the balance between full employment and inflation. And Powell said it himself. He's concerned more about employment right now. So his gift to us, because we saw some soft job numbers, was that he'd give 25 basis points. But part of this employment issue is the fact that immigration has been basically halted. And so you have some nuances. And I'll give you an example on housing. The input cost of soft lumber now has a 35% tariff on it. So home builders who say, look, we could get prices down if we could build more supply, are stuck with a lack of employees to actually build these houses, a lack of policy in states, which is all, California, and then high input costs in lumber. It's a problem.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Kevin O'Leary, always grateful to have you, sir. Thank you. Bring us another new lovely backdrop next time you come by.